Hello everyone, welcome along to the Worldwide Gooner Elite. Haven't been here for a while, we haven't done any podcasts for a while or anything like that, covering any games. So I thought I'd just give a little rundown of how I think the game against Burnley went and my personal player ratings for that one as well. So of course you can give us a follow on Twitter as well, at Gooner Elite, if you're not following us already. But we'd be thoroughly grateful if that's something you wanted to do. It'd be great to have your support. But yeah, I thought we were very unlucky not to win the game against Burnley. I thought we were very, much the dominant side, really, especially after the first 5 or 6 minutes and going 1-0 up as well for Aubameyang. And then, we had a couple of chances on the back of that to go and get a second and maybe a third as well through Saka. Aubameyang had another one as well. I think Thomas Partey had one which was on the edge of the box and he fired that one over. And then obviously, we weren't able to take those chances. And, Granit Xhaka and Bernd Leno, sort of between them, really kind of cost us a goal. Leno was trying to play it out from the back, as sort of Mikel Arteta wants the goalkeepers to do. And he passed the ball straight to Granit Xhaka there. And Granit Xhaka basically, I'm not too sure what he's trying to do. He's trying to play the ball across to David Luiz and the ball's not on at all. I don't know if you've seen Chris Wood there, but the ball's basically been smashed up against Chris Wood's stomach or his midriff sort of area, and rebounded off of him into the back of the net. And on the back of that, I thought second half we come out, we looked good. We looked like we were on the front foot for the first few minutes of it, and then Burnley kind of kicked on. They had a couple of chances. Eric Peters had that one when he come on that was fired at Bernd Leno from about 25 yards. And Leno had to turn that one over the bar with a very good save. Also, he made that fantastic save from Chris Wood as well to deny the Australian man from making it 2-1 to the home side at Turf Moor, of course, yesterday in the early kickoff. And we had chances of our own come the end of the game and couple of penalty appeals as well. Personally, I thought the first one, the one that kind of bounced off his hand, was a penalty for me. I don't know why VAR didn't look at that one. I don't know, how that's not been given with the help of the video assistant and the sort of surrounding, fourth official and linesman, etc. I don't know how that one hasn't been given one way or another. But, I think that's something that really needs to be looked at. And then obviously the second one, I thought at first I thought we got the penalty. Obviously the referee had pointed to the spot. He sent Eric Peters off as well. And then of course on the back of that he went to VAR and it overturned it correctly, because actually it kind of hit him. I think it was sort of about there-ish, something like that. It wasn't a handball anyway. It was sort of, it didn't hit his hand. And obviously it would have been a red card anyway because it was stopping a goal scoring opportunity. So if there's a penalty, it had to be a red. But in my opinion, that call was right in the end when they overturned it. Although I know Burnley fans, were probably heart in mouth at that minute. But, it was the right decision. Although if we were given that one, it would have been sort of retrospective on the fact we should have had one earlier on with the Nicola Pepe one that I said about. And of course, Pepe had that one where he sort of miscued it as well from sort of, I don't know how many yards out it was exactly. The ball had been put back through to him and he kind of miskicked it, didn't he? And he kind of just completely fluffed his shot into nothing. Kind of just kicked it sort of into the air, like air kicked it basically. Didn't really get a clean contact on the ball. And then right at the very end, at the death there, we hit the post through Ceballos as well, didn't we? I think we hit the bar as well in that little melee there, where right at the very end, I think it was 93rd, 94th minute, whatever it was. And then obviously at the end of that, it come out and it was a 1-1 draw. And at the end of the day, you have to look at that in sort of retrospectively, really. And I believe that was 2 points dropped. I thought we were the better side for the majority. I thought we really controlled the game in large passages. And I thought, we had the chances to win the game, sort of 3 or 4, maybe even 5, if we had our shooting boots on. And yeah, I thought we were, a little bit unfortunate with some of the chances, some of the decisions that went against us as well. But that's football, isn't it? You kind of have to take the rough with the smooth. Burnley fans are arguing, no doubt that we've had decisions against them that have gone in our favour, so they're probably due some. And fair play as well, because obviously we have had sort of late goals and penalty incidences that have gone for us. So they're probably looking at it and thinking, well, it's about time we got something in our favour. But obviously, from an Arsenal perspective, it is a bit gutting that we didn't get the victory. I'm over it a little bit more now than I was at full time. I was a bit frustrated, to be honest, that we didn't sort of churn out the 3 points and we only managed to settle for the 1. But of course, we have bigger fish to fry starting on Thursday with the Olympiacos game away, and then the North London derby next week as well, before we go to the Emirates for the second leg against Olympiacos as well. Of course, the side that knocked us out with the competition last year, so we're sort of gunning for revenge, excuse the pun, over them. But yeah, I'm going to get into a couple of my player ratings now, and hopefully you've enjoyed the little video as well. But my player ratings are going to start with Bernd Leno in goal. I thought, he was at fault a bit for the first goal. Not the first goal, the Burnley equaliser, I should say. I don't think he's as fault as I don't think he's as much to blame. Sorry, as Granit Xhaka. And I think Granit Xhaka really needs to hold his head up and sort of say to Bernd Leno and everybody else that it's kind of me that's got you into that mess. Hold his hands up to that. But I thought Bernd Leno had a very good game really. First half he didn't have a lot to do. Second half he was a lot better and commanded his box well. I thought he was very quick out as well when he had to be to stop that Chris Wood chance, and the other save from about 25-30 yards. He got a very good hand on that to turn it over the crossbar as well. So I thought Bernd Leno overall was decent enough. Question marks over him from the goal from some people, but not for me. I thought he's kind of been told to play it out from the back by Mikel Arteta, so he's basically doing what he's been told to do. You can't put too much blame on him. Yeah, you can say smash it up the field, but Mikel Arteta has come out even after the game and defended him there and said, well, that's not how I want him to play. So they kind of have to go with what the manager said. And if he wants the goalkeeper to play it short, then the goalkeeper will play it short, and then it's up to Granit Xhaka to try and either just play a short ball or turn and smash it upfield or smash it out for a throw-in or a corner or whatever it may be. Just away from the danger area where Chris Wood was standing, to be honest, anyway. So my goalkeeper was obviously Bernd Leno. So I'm going to give him a 6 on my rating. I thought he did pretty good, as I said. Right back was Callum Chambers, come back in after a number of years out and unavailable. And I thought he did well. I thought he put in a good shift, to be honest. I thought he stopped them from getting the crosses in. Because Burnley are a very direct sort of side, and I thought Callum Chambers down that right side dealt with that very, very well. And yeah, I'll give him a 6 as well. Kieran Tierney on the left-hand side, got forward a few times, had a few moments where he was kind of, in the attacking third. Didn't really do anything wrong, so he can have a 6 as well, in my opinion. The two centre-backs, David Luiz and, of course, Pablo Mari, both did, very, very well, in my opinion, to nullify the threat of, Chris Wood and also Matteo Vidro as well. And, I'm going to give those a 7 apiece. I thought they both did very, very well, and neither of them were at fault for the goal or anything, so that's probably fair enough with that. And then we'll go into the midfield, and we had Granit Xhaka, who, of course, was the man who smashed the ball against Chris Wood for Burnley's equaliser. And I'm going to give him... I don't want to be too harsh on him because I thought he had a good game up until that, where he made that silly brain fart and sort of made that mistake. But, it was a sort of moment of madness and, cost us. I think it's cost us 8 times in sort of, opportunities that have gifted goals to opposition, which is the most in the Premier League. And, of course, he's had red cards, he's had incidences with fans, he's had all sorts of stuff, Granit Xhaka. So, yeah, I'm going to be a little bit harsh, not harsh on him, but going to criticise him a bit. But I'm not going to give him a ridiculously low score like a 0 or anything like that. I'm going to give him a 3. I thought he was, he'll get a 3 for me. And then alongside him, we had Thomas Partey. He was back in as well. You could see that he'd, was hungry in the first half, wanted to make things happen. Had that chance on the edge of the box where, he was a bit unlucky as well. So I think he fired it over in the end. And he sort of did well in the first half. Second half, he kind of, wasn't as good and wasn't effective enough in my opinion, but I'm going to give him a 6 as well. Then we had, who did we have? We had Martin Odegaard in the number 10, and I thought, he was quiet by his standards. I think we missed Smith Rowe. I think Smith Rowe would have thrived in that sort of game. And I'm going to give Odegaard a 5. And then we had Bukayo Saka on the left and Willian on the right. I'm going to Bukayo Saka first of all. I thought he looks okay in parts of, he looked like he wanted to try and make things happen. It didn't fall for him. And, there was some sort of moments in the game where he wasn't as good, and it was below his normal standards. But you could see he was trying. You could see he's probably been overplayed a bit as well, to be honest. And, he had a bit of a rest and been out of the team for a while, hasn't he? And he was in a bit of an unfamiliar position until the last few minutes as well. So I'm going to give him a 4. And over on the right-hand side, we had Willian. And Willian's coming good now. Willian is starting to prove me and a lot of other people wrong. The last 3 games, I think he's got 4 assists now, including 2 in that Leicester game last week. He got the assist in the Europa League, got the assist yesterday as well for Aubameyang. And I thought he was very, very good in, patches. And I thought he was a bit unfortunate to be taken off as well. I'm going to give him a 6, I think. And then we had Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang leading the line, and I thought he was quiet by the goal. He took the goal really, really well, cutting in from that left-hand side as he always does. And of course, when he does that, it's usually in the back of the net more often than not. And I thought it was a decent finish, although the keeper should have done better. Nick Pope, he's going to be very frustrated and unhappy with that. It kind of let it sort of squirm under his hands. He got a bit of a hand on it, but not a strong enough hand to keep it out. Aubameyang can have a 6 as well. Just purely because he got the goal and, he was a bit lively up front. He had 1 or 2 other chances as well, but not the greatest game by his standards. He looked all right, but yeah, he's had plenty of better days. And then off the bench, we had Lacazette, who, he got himself about a little bit. He didn't really do a lot in front of goal. So he can have a 5. And then we brought on Nicola Pepe, who missed that 1 chance, as I said before, with the air shot. And but he looked bright and lively. So that's when he come on, it was all kind of coming through him. Should have had a penalty, as I said beforehand. It was him that had the shot that cannoned off of Eric Peters' hand on the goal line, or his elbow on the goal line as well. So he was, effective in terms of coming on and doing what he was told to do, and try and break down the Burnley defence. He caused them problems, but he should have had himself a goal. So I'm going to give him a 5 as well. And then also we had, who else did we have come on? Danny Ceballos come on as well, and he had that one right at the very end where I thought, literally about an inch or 2 to one side, it would have gone into the back of the net and would have been going away, stealing another victory away from Burnley again. But yeah, I'll give him a 5 as well. To be honest, I'll give all the subs a 5. I thought, actually, if I was going to give anyone a 6, it'd be Nicola Pepe. But with that chance that he missed, you can't really give him too high. When with that chance, we would have gone on and won the game. So, and obviously with the VAR decisions, they're decisions that you kind of have to look at the VAR referee on. Nicola Pepe got himself to the right position, but I don't know, really, you can't give him massive marks, can you, really? So I'll give him a 5. And then the manager, Arteta, I thought he picked a decent side. Would have been nice to see Gabriel Martinelli come on. I've been, wanting to see him feature a bit lately, and he's not getting enough game time for me. It's good to see, that he's not favouring players that he just wants in the side, who has kind of proven not to be playing up to scratch and sort of up to standard, like Hector Bellerin, who he's actually now dropped for a few games, which is kind of good that he's actually been brave enough to do that. And also, the likes of, who else was there that I was going to say about that he's been dropping as well. There was a few others, like obviously Willian, people thought wasn't sort of up to Arsenal standard, but he's come good in the last few weeks. Whatever Arteta said to him, whatever they've done in training, whatever it may be, he looks a lot brighter and a lot better in the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks. So, you have to give him props for that as well. Of course, I would have probably rested Bukayo Saka maybe and brought him off the bench if he's not going to play in his natural left-sided position as another one as well. It was brave putting Callum Chambers in as well, which I thought was good. So I'm going to give Mikel Arteta, I'll give him a, he picked a decent lineup, as I said. I'll give him a 6 or a 7. I'm not too sure. Because I thought, we didn't win the game. We drew the game, so I'll give him a 6. Obviously, beating somebody like Burnley would be sort of a standard result for Arsenal normally in recent years gone by. And, of course, he has failed to do that twice this season, so you can't give him a really high score. So I'm going to give him a 6 for that, sorry. And then we have to mark the referee as well, the video assistant referee. And I thought, he got that one with Nicola Pepe, the very first one, completely wrong. I've looked back at it a number of times and it's hit his hand not once but twice. It's kind of bounced off his hand and then bounced down to the floor, and then it's basically put another sort of shot there. Nicola Pepe has gone off his hand again with his hand out, and that's the one. The second one is the one where the penalty should be given for me. The second one of those two, not the second one overall, of course, because that was the one on the goal line, which the VAR and the referee got right. But yeah, I'm going to give the referee. It's hard to give him a high mark, to be honest. I didn't think he was very good. I don't want to be one of those Arsenal fans who are just like, because he went against us, we're going to give him a 0. So we'll be generous and give him a 1. But that's for the fact he turned up, I suppose. But yeah, we were back in action, of course, on Thursday night against Olympiacos. And hopefully we'll bring you another podcast soon as well. But I thought I'd bring you a bit of a video. It's going to go on for about 17, 18 minutes, this video in the end. With my little run through of Arsenal's 1-1 draw with Burnley and my own little player ratings as well. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree, what your own ratings are, your own analysis of the game, how you sort of felt about the penalty decisions, the VAR, that went against us as well, and everything else that kind of came along with it. But of course, we go to Olympiacos now, Thursday night, big game. Have to win. The chances are we won't be getting into the Champions League through the league this season. We knew that anyway. And the Europa League was always our priority from a fan's perspective, sort of a realistic priority of getting into the Champions League. Although we know we've got some other excellent sides that we're going to be competing against. And of course, Olympiacos are no mugs themselves after they knocked us out last year. So this has been the Worldwide Gooner Elite little review, mini podcast really, of just me on my own, but sort of waffling on, giving my opinion. But hopefully you've enjoyed it, and we'll be back hopefully in the near future with another podcast. Hopefully we'll try and get John on, the Burnley fan as well, who we spoke to beforehand when we did the original fixture, which they beat us in at the Emirates, of course, by that 0-0 as well, with Granit Xhaka scoring that day and Aubameyang getting the own goal. We spoke to John after that one, so hopefully we'll speak to him after this one as well, as we said we probably will do. And we've got 4 or 5 other games from since we've done the last podcast that we want to cover as well. If you want to come on the podcast and you want to be a part of the podcast channel sort of team, or want to be a guest, then of course you can just send me an inbox to the Gooner Elite Twitter page, and we'll happily bring you on. You don't have to be an Arsenal fan. You can be a fan of the side that we've played against, or the side that we're playing against next, or whatever as well. Hopefully we'll be getting a few lined up of fellow football fans of the clubs we're playing, the likes of Tottenham and some of the other clubs that we've got coming up. But you've been listening to the Worldwide Gooner Elite, and this has been Mike Kahneman, and hopefully you've enjoyed this little sort of rundown analysis, whatever you want to call it. And thank you very much for listening and for watching as well. Take care of yourselves, stay safe everybody, and hopefully we can continue on in the Europa League on Thursday night, get a good solid victory away in Greece, take us into the North London derby on Sunday against Tottenham in a positive vein of form, and then of course on the back of getting hopefully a good result in that North London derby as well, we'll be going to the second leg at the Emirates Stadium, and hopefully we can get through, get some revenge on them, avoid the likes of Man United and Ajax and Tottenham and Milan and whoever else there is that are still left in for a little while longer and push on in the Europa League. So thank you very much for listening, and enjoy the rest of your week as well. Of course, big game on Thursday night, and let's hope we can get through into the hat for the next round, and of course put us into good stead of not just qualifying for the Europa League, but having a very good stab at winning it as well, and getting into the Champions League via that and winning a trophy as well. Of course, we're out of the FA Cup, we're out of the League Cup, we're very much out of the race in the league, but the Europa League, we're in it. Why can't we win it? And of course, it would be great if we did. Thank you for listening, everybody. Of course, look after yourselves, stay safe, and we will be back soon. Bye for now.